Next up, we're going to do Ellie's favourite segment. It's Answers Anonymous.
Whoop, whoop.
Who is it? What are we? What are we doing here? Tell the people.
We are people, and we will answer.
No,
Anonymously.
what we're doing is we've posed a question to the audience. Also, shout out, if you want to be featured on any of our episodes with your anonymous answers or agony aunt problems, please visit www.shehitmewithacactus.com. That was lovely.
That was.
Yeah. You can get like up to date with all the latest things, you know. Well, no, like to do with us. Not like I don't have a running news commentary there. It's not like a meta, but yeah. Please send in your confessions and answers. Also, you get to know what's coming up next because you see the questions for the next couple of weeks. www.shehitmewithacactus.com. .com. This week's question was, what's the weirdest encounter you've had with your neighbour?
My neighbours?
Your neighbours, the people who neighbour you.
When we first moved into the house opposite didn't have any curtains. They were quite frequently nude.
Oh. What, up against the window?
No, just wandering.
Oh, no.
Because our back room looks out onto... They're quite far away, but they look out onto their bathroom.
Oh, that's rough.
And the bathroom at the time
We saw them squatting on the toilet.
No.
Oh, okay. I've seen that on a walk once, and it was someone I knew. I was on a dog walk, and there's a row of houses near where I walk the dogs, and they have like the light to their bedroom, and the man got up and then walked round to the bathroom because the bathroom light went on, and then there was just the outline of a man sat on the toilet. And I know him. It's
that doesn't surprise me.
No.
They definitely heard that on the mic.
He was pooping.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. That is.
It's okay. They won't watch this.
He does. He gives poopy vibes, guys.
Really? That's rude.
He does. But also, I have another thing to say.
Okay.
And just because
you're doing a strange announcement.
No, because just a little peek behind the unimportant curtain. Izzy told me that this story was weirdest encounter you've ever had with a stranger.
Yeah, I got the question wrong. Sorry, it's neighbours.
Immediately changed it to neighbours, which, you know, I've been prepping, guys. I've been prepping all week.
I told you 2 minutes ago.
I am nothing but prepared. And I have a part 2 of, you know the woman that I met in the bathroom at work?
Oh, yes.
She starts conversations mid-sentence.
Oh, yes. I thought that was just a one-time thing. I didn't know it was a habit.
I also thought it was a one-time thing until last week.
Where I
came out of the bathroom stall. I was washing my hands. I was the only one in there with her.
You need to stop going to the toilet.
She was cleaning, and then she just turned around and went, "And the zoo." And I was like, "Sorry?"
I think I'd ignore it.
And she went, "And the zoo." I was like,
looking at you.
Yep. And then just carried on the conversation
about the zoo.
Yep. No. Well, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of? It's either about the zoo or it's not.
Like loosely referencing the
right.
zoo, but it was just that I'd literally just I was.
She sounds like a fun lady, if you ask me.
Yeah, but last time she told me that her husband had died.
Yeah, that's less fun, I have to say.
But like 10 years ago.
I honestly would, if someone did that to me, just ignore it and just carry on washing my hands. And then if they turn around and go, "Oh, excuse me," it's like, "Oh, sorry, were you talking to me?"
But I was the only one in there.
Okay, well, just pretend. Like, she could be. Are you sure she's not got an earpiece?
No.
That she's talking to like someone on a Bluetooth.
She's an old woman. She does not have a Bluetooth connector.
Oh, old people might have a Bluetooth headset.
She's not on Bluetooth.
Okay, well, have a look in her ears next time.
She's barely on the planet.
No, next time you open her ears up and see if she's got like one of those little pearls.
So your advice has gone from don't talk to her, ignore her.
Yeah, until she says, "Oh, excuse me," and you go, "Oh, sorry, were you talking to me?"
Yes. Excuse me, you're talking to me. So sorry. Can I just have a check inside your ears?
No, you don't ask. Just go up to her and see, like, nosy round her nose, like, see what's, like, you don't need to, like, open her up, like, you just have to go, like...
You literally just said the phrase, open her ears up.
Okay, well, just move her hair back.
Izzy, that's weird.
Hugs. Pretend like you're going to give her a hug.
Weird.
Okay, well, are you done?
Are you sure?
What's my weirdest encounter with a neighbour? Because that was the actual question. I have a habit of singing out the window But like we back on to like.
Who do you think you are, Snow White?
I was having one of those moments where I was just like singing, and then I was opening the window and just let out the window, just carried on singing. But I was having a look around and I didn't realise. Basically, for context, I live in the roof of a house.
It's not redone. It's just she lives in the loft.
I am Cinderella. I live in the loft, and then so I have like those windows, what they call Veluxes. So I opened the window.
I think that's a brand.
Oh, okay, well, not sponsored, but they're Velux windows. Anyway, I leant out of the window and I was singing. I can't remember what I was singing, but it was something that you don't, like an emotional song or something. I was like in my feels.
Banging on the counter.
Wasn't that? And I was just
Giving
singing.
her in the shower.
It was probably like Ceilings or something. And I was
Ceilings?
by like Lizzie McAlpine, like that kind of song. Okay, don't worry. Ellie knows nothing. You do know that song?
No, I don't. Well, it just sounds like all she did was go, what can I sing about? Oh, ceilings.
You need to listen to it. It's a good song. No. It's very old now anyway, besides the point. Anyway, I was leaning out.
Until I was
I was leaning out and just singing my heart out, and I put my head round. And for context, next door also have Velux windows. And there was a man, you know, the older son who lives next door.
Yeah.
He was also leaning out of his window at
singing?
that very moment. No, he was just
having
a smoke.
You were going, you haven't had her in the shower. And he went, wasn't me.
He was just having a smoke, and I was singing at him. I was like, no. I just didn't know what to do because we're not like close. We're not close neighbours. So I just went back in, just retreated like a turtle. So that was weird.
A turtle?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a horrible
He works the night shift as well, so he's probably going to bed.
Where does he live?
Where does he learn? I don't know.
How do you know he works the night shift?
Because I see him coming home at 7 a.m.
But how do you know he's been working the night shift? He could have just been partying.
Every day. Consistently coming back at 7 a.m. from a party. No, I think he does work. Because I see him leaving for work in the evening.
What does he
I'm
wear?
not like constantly staring at my neighbour's driveway.
What does he wear?
What do you mean? Just clothes.
I'm just wondering, like...
No high vis or anything, so I don't know what he does for it. Maybe he's storing a high vis in the back.
Stripper.
I don't think he's a stripper. Strippers don't get home at 7. I think strippers get home at like a reasonable hour, like 2.
If you're a stripper, what time do you get home from work?
Anyway, let's hear from the audience about what... Oh, also, I also did write this down. When I was at uni, we thought that the man who lived next to us was trying to film us because he got one of those, like, security cameras, and we thought it was pointing at us. So we lodged a complaint with the police and took a picture of it, saying this man's trying to film us when we're coming home, but it turns out... Yeah, it wasn't pointing at us. It was fine. He was just trying to film his garage because someone was threatened to... We went to uni in a lovely part of the world. Threatened to like kill him and all of his family. So he
in the garage.
Well, I don't know, but I think he had a bike in there, so he wanted to protect the bike. I don't know the story. I can't remember. No, it wasn't like we didn't speak to a policeman. We just logged it online, being like, "There's a camera,"
and nothing happened.
No.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Well, I think it was like tilted. I think maybe he got a little notice being like, "Could you tilt it away from the girls?"
Tilt your camera away.
It was
from
weird.
the
No,
females.
another man who worked the night shift. He didn't. He worked away. He was a pilot, so he was always asleep whenever we knocked on the door. Someone went round. Oh, it was the boys. My friend's ex-boyfriend went round there, and Niall just went and stood there. I think in the background, being like. It was either that or Niall was the one that was speaking to them, but
and then just went fact or fiction.
No, he said, "Can you point that away?" And he was like, "Oh, sorry, I was just filming my bike." But he was in his pajamas, and they'd just woken him up because he's a pilot.
But this is a different guy.
No, same man.
I'm so confused. He works the night shift.
No, this is the one next door at uni with the camera. He didn't work the night shift. He was a pilot, so he was away a lot.
You said another man who worked the night shift.
I didn't.
You did. There's now 3 men.
There's 2 men. The one I sang to, who works the night shift, and the one who was filming us, who doesn't work the night shift, I don't think. He either works the night shift at an airport or he flies planes.
I'm so confused.
But he was always asleep during the day. So they woke him up to tell him to stop stalking us, and he was like, "I'm not stalking them. Can I go back to bed?" They were like, "Yeah, okay."
Was he wearing like long
dressing gown,
like stripy pajamas?
No, dressing gown, big fluffy dressing gown.
Oh.
But that family was weird. Just
he have
a
a
sidetrack. No, this family
Like a
never
long-
ever saw the same person coming in and out. We thought it was a brothel. We weren't sure what was going on, but there was like old women went in and out, and then like men went in, children went in. Oh, it probably wasn't a brothel. It's not. But there were,
underage brothel.
there were children that definitely didn't live there. That were like, because it was like a different child every day.
Maybe it was like
different dogs.
Maybe if they're different dogs.
Different dogs.
Maybe if it's like
Very weird.
like a stopover house for pilots.
I don't know if he was a pilot though.
Well,
He's just a man in a dressing gown claiming he works at the airport.
He opened the door and went, I work at the airport. What do you want?
I don't know, I wasn't there. He always used to. He was American.
He
always
did this a lot.
He did. Every time we put the bins out, he said, because I used to see him because he left for work in the morning sometimes. So he must not.
He doesn't work night shift.
I don't know.
My neighbour puts my bins out, and that's really sweet.
That is sweet. No, but anyway, he always used to be like, "Oh, morning girls," like that. That's why I was like,
Morning girls.
creepy vibes. Shall we hear from the audience?
Sure.
Okay. This person says, new neighbour brought round a lasagna to introduce themselves and wouldn't leave until we ate it in front of them. The lasagna was nice, but it was very weird. Eat it. Eat it now. We won't leave. Well, they actually said we won't leave, or were they just like sat here being like, oh, do you want it now?
Do you want my lasagna?
Eat it now. That's weird. I don't know if I agree with accepting food from neighbours.
That I did this. Do you want my lasagna? This is my lasagna, people.
Have I ever made anything? Maybe I've baked for next door actually.
Lasagna.
I think I actually baked for the next door neighbours one time.
What? Which one?
The transatlantic pilot. Yeah, wild. Oh no, it wasn't him. It was the woman whose house.
It was the other man who works night shift.
It was a couple of doors down, and the woman's house caught fire, and so we took her dog. She asked us to. She had
I remember this happening.
Yeah, and we had to look after her small dog, who had like a heart condition.
I really didn't enjoy how you just said small dog.
No, that's what we called it, small dog, because we didn't know what it was called.
Just called it small
Yeah,
dog.
walking around was called it small dog. But then she kind of started to take advantage and just was like, "Can you look after
Small dog?
I can't remember what it was called, like Poppy or something."
No, I prefer small dog.
Okay, it was a small dog, and it had a heart condition. This dog went manic when the woman wasn't around. It was just like, and we were like,
Sorry,
"You're going to
what
pass
was it
away." Anyway, baked her something to say sorry about your house catching fire.
That's really rude. She can't bake.
Yeah, so she can't enjoy nice treats. That house was wrecked as well.
You're rubbing that in.
She was a nice neighbour.
She was a nice name.
No, I was thinking of her name because we thought her name was Rhonda. It turned out her name wasn't Rhonda, it was Rhoda. And we were saying it wrong for years.
It's not a name. Do you remember the postman? That our father used to call Malcolm.
Malcolm, every day this man turned up. Was all right, Malcolm? Yeah, all right. No, everything. I couldn't really understand what he was saying. He was like a bit like, "Oh, is it? Yeah, everything's fine."
Yeah,
Like,
and one of the other postmen said, "Oh, have you heard like Chris is leaving?" And we were like,
right.
"Who the hell's Chris?" And they were like, "Oh, your normal postman."
That's Malcolm.
7 years down the line, and we've been calling him Malcolm every single day.
Yeah.
And then we go, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Why have you not, like when he came
Why
round
didn't
the
you
next
say
time,
that wasn't
why,
your
He just said, "Oh, I thought you wanted to call me Malcolm."
He was a
What?
weird bloke, though. He was
was,
really
but
weird. He
that
used to wear
was-
shorts in the winter.
Yeah, but that's because they do a lot of walking.
I know, but still, I wouldn't want my nobody knees out when it's icy outside.
Yeah, but it's good to get the blood flowing.
No, not in that way. Anyway, next. Woman from upstairs walked into my flat, sat down on my sofa and started chatting to me. Took her a full 10 seconds before she realised A, I wasn't her husband, and B, it wasn't her flat. She screamed and ran out. That's funny. Why was your door unlocked? Why could you just wander in? That's a bit alarming. That's a safety issue from you.
That's hilarious.
I've done that in a car before. Have you done that when you got into someone else's car?
You've not got into something.
I did. When
else.
Daddy was
Izzy.
supposed to pick me up from a netball match. I got in. There was a fluffy dog in the back, which I thought was our old dog. And then there was a bald man with glasses in the front. And I thought he was coming to pick me up from a netball match. So I got into the car and turned around and screamed in his face and then had to stand there next to his car and wait for Daddy to pick me up. I swear on my life that happened. I just turned in and went, "Ah!" And then got up and ran outside. And then just had to stand there being like...
Nothing happened.
It was really bad. That scarred me for life. But no, I've never walked in someone's home and just sat down. Not yet. It's the kind of thing I would do when I was
did that
tired,
today.
though. Yeah.
Just walked in and sat down.
Yeah, but I'm invited here. This one says, went next door to pick up a parcel and he answered the door in a bikini and was completely covered in green body paint but didn't acknowledge it at all. I was like, why are you emphasising he so much? In a bikini?
Choice.
Okay.
That's a choice.
I feel like that doesn't cover much on a man. How thin was the bikini?
Oh, I didn't enjoy that.
No, that's the bikini shape. No? I hope it was a full brief. Yeah, you can get full coverage briefs. Let's hope it was that. Or a boxer short.
You don't have a boxer short bikini.
Some people might. Let's hope this man did. Was playing football in the garden and kicked it over the fence and hit my elderly neighbour straight in the face and gave her a nosebleed. That's quite funny, though.
Not for her.
No, not for her, but if she had like a good sense of humour about it, then that's fine. If she was like, you give me a nosebleed.
Why is she vibrating?
Niall got in trouble with his elderly neighbour because he...
Elderly.
Elderly. No, because he was weeding outside the front.
He was what?
He was weeding. What are you laughing?
I didn't hear what you said. I really misheard that word.
He was weeing.
Keep going.
Niall got in trouble with his elderly neighbour because he was outside the front of his house weeding.
Yeah, I heard you.
You didn't hear me. He was outside weeding.
Yeah, we get it.
And she came round afterwards and being like, why has he got rid of these flowers, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, they were weeds and they were on our side anyway, we thought. And apparently he'd gone over the line or whatever, and so he started weeding into the neighbour's garden.
We can't stop.
No, for context, they're like, they have like kind of
weeding.
like, they have driveways that are like right next to each other. So he weeded into her. And so he removed some of the weeds, but apparently they weren't weeds. And she kicked right off. Not friendly. Not a friendly.
Weeding into her boundaries.
I just got out of control.
He is still weeding to this day.
That's why he's not here. This one says they took in a big parcel, which was a huge sofa, for me and kept it. So I had to go round there and tell them that they've stolen my sofa. What did you go round and they were just sat on it? Like, well, it's our sofa now. You weren't here.
Finders keepers.
This one's like, I was chatting with a neighbour and he started moaning about the postman and how stupid and boring he was. I told her that he was my husband and she screamed in my face. She was so embarrassed. Now that is really embarrassing. You've got to be really careful, especially if it's in like a small village. You never know who your postman might be. Scary.
I love all these people that keep screaming in people's faces.